Hello friends, and welcome to Musicman's Mancave. And this will be my final review of the Superman franchise on this Father's Day. So happy Father's Day, and I hope that those that watch this enjoy my take on the Superman universe and the Superman franchise, because I am the ultimate Superman fan. I love the movies. I have to say, I even like some parts in the Superman 3 and Superman 4. They're not really worthy of time to review because the parts that are worthwhile in them are so few and far between that why would you even want to talk about them? Now we're going to talk about this movie, and the question is, which one is better? Which one is the best? When you're looking at these, which one do you think is the one which is the best? Well, I believe this one is the best because it presents the best from Richard Donner, and it also presents the best from Richard Lester. And I really enjoyed it when I went to see this movie. I watched it twice, right consecutively, in a theater in Dothan, Alabama. And it was just a great flick. I love the way it ended. And so this is a spoiler review on Father's Day. So I'm going to talk about Superman 2. And I just believe this was basically Superman 1.5, because these movies were basically made at the same time. And Richard Lester added some of his stuff into it so that it would make sense. Originally, the Superman was supposed to fly around the world and spin the Earth backwards in this movie. But they needed a dynamic ending in the first movie, so they put it there, and it didn't really make any sense. And I talked about that in my Superman the movie review. Make sure that you look at that one. So let's talk about Superman the movie. With Terrence Stamp, Christopher Reeves, and Margot Kidder reprising her role as the spunky Lois Lane news reporter. Well, I absolutely love this movie. I think that it is the best Superman movie. And like I said, I connect it with Superman 1. I think they both go together. It basically starts right where Superman 1 left off, and it doesn't look back. I like that Richard Lester put that nice music, the John Williams awesome score that everybody knows. When you hear it, you think of Superman. But Hans Zimmer's score in Man of Steel was pretty outstanding as well. And he put that montage of what happened in Superman 1. So this movie does stand on its own. And so we have Terrence Stamp from Billy Budd. And also he's just a great legendary actor. And he does a great job. And he basically started the kneel before Zod. And you'll hear that a lot from us Superman fans. Kneel before Zod. He started that. So, Superman 2. It really gets intense between Superman and Lois, and the midst that he has now, basically he's there and he's with Lois, and he finds out that she's taken off into some dangerous situation, just like the 1938 comics or those little short films. So she's taken off and she's in Paris, and a bomb. She's sitting on a nuclear bomb, and none other than in the Eiffel Tower. Ooh. And so Superman takes off, and he's flying, and he moves really fast, and you see there's new special effects, and he arrives just in time as Lois climbs underneath the elevator, and she's plunging to her death, and somehow all the brakes and everything fails, and of course it has to be like that. So Superman comes in, flies in, and saves Lois, and then takes off and pushes this elevator with a nuclear bomb into outer space, and boom, it explodes, and frees General Zod and his homies from the Phantom Zone. And this is where, and in the meantime, Lois is starting to kind of figure something that everybody on the planet knows except her, is that Clark Kent is Superman. They look alike. She takes off his glasses. They're at Niagara Falls. She looks at him. You are Superman. And he's like, no, I'm not, Lois. And I was like, well, you must have an identical twin because you look just like Superman. And anyway, so she jumps in the water, and it's really funny that how he uses his laser vision and he saves her life. And so there's this witty little goings on, and then it's kind of goofy. I like Richard Donner's take better. Maybe, I don't know, I think he just revealed Superman. He acts like he's a klutz and he trips over a pink bear. And so she discovers he's Superman. And then he stands in the most effeminate pose I've ever seen Superman stand in. He walks up and he has his legs completely together, and it's kind of weird at that moment. And she's like, I love you. And he's like, we really got to talk. So Superman and Lois take off to the Fortress of Solitude, and somehow it's 40 below, but Lois is completely warm. It's really amazing how that happens when you're in love. You can stand in 40 below zero weather, but you're still just fine. So anyway, spoiler alert, big time spoiler alert, this was controversial at the time. Superman gives up his powers, and Lois Lane and Superman sleep together. Even I can say as a kid I was shocked by that, because Superman was seen as pure and, you know, a good guy and innocent, and he basically gave up the world to basically sleep with Lois Lane. They didn't get married. And so anyway, the honeymoon, I guess it's kind of a honeymoon. They go to some Idaho town, and Superman gets beat up and slammed in the glass, and you're sitting there going, dude, why didn't you just give the guy the seat? I mean, that's what Superman would have done. Anyway, Zod comes on TV, and he's looking for Kal-El, and he's saying, where is he? And so, make a long story short, Superman goes back to the Fortress of Solitude to regain his powers, and it's never really explained in this movie. It's explained in this movie. We never understand how Superman gets back his powers. It just kind of left until Marlon Brando and, Richard Donner and his friends make this. So what happens? His dad, gives him his spirit or something. He touches him and electrocutes him. And then Superman flies back, and they have that fight in the city, and which is basically like watching Transformers fight. I mean, when you got people made of steel punching each other, no one's going to win, even though it's kind of fun to watch. And so Superman flies away, and they all go after him with Lois Lane and Lex Luthor, and they find him in the Fortress of Solitude. And then there's the silly cellophane chest. And Superman throws the cellophane chest at Nun, and it wraps him up in cellophane, and he's like, I really got you there. Yeah, I took you down. And Nun's kind of going, oh, that was weird. What was with the plastic bubble wrap that was just thrown on me? Anyway, that's kind of a funny moment in the movie, I thought. And then there was Zykem! Zykem! All three of them together, using their power. And all three of them together couldn't beat Superman. So they discover, let's tear Lois Lane to pieces if he doesn't agree to, do what we want. And so Superman agrees. He agrees to get inside the chamber. And I remember when I was watching this as a kid, I was like, now what's Superman going to do? He's giving up his powers. This is terrible. So he climbs inside the chamber to give up his powers. And then we have the coolest moment to me in Superman history. Superman walks out, and he's in his outfit, and he's acting all weak. And he walks over, and Terrence Stamp is like, now, at last, near before Zod. And then we're all stunned when all of a sudden we hear this crunching sound. And Zod goes, and Superman picks him up and does something we cannot believe. He throws him 50 feet across the Fortress of Solitude. He lands into an ice wall, and he falls into a chasm. Thus, I guess most people that are human can't survive that, so Zod must be dead, I guess, because that's where they leave it. They never show any other extra scene. Basically, they leave Luthor there, and then Superman does something very controversial. I'm sure that this will upset many people. He decides to kiss Lois Lane and suck out her brains, so she cannot remember who he is. It's really, really bizarre moment in the Superman lore. So he kisses Lois Lane. She's like, hey, what's going on in the world? So she's back to normal Lois Lane. Oh, you have glasses on. I am so glad they got rid of that in the Man of Steel. The glasses thing. If I take off my glasses, my wife's not going to go, oh, who's in my house? Who are you? And then I put my glasses back on. It's you, Music Man. It's you. So I'm really glad they got rid of that. I mean, it's just silly. I mean, there's no way on earth that Lois Lane would not know that Clark Kent is Superman. Anyway, the movie ends with Superman. Oh, he goes back to the bar. And this is one of my favorite scenes of Superman. So the guy comes up. He goes, I've never seen garbage eat garbage before. This guy walks up. And he goes to punch Superman. It's like he's punched a vault in a bank. And then Superman does something which is always in comic book lore, just like in The Amazing Spider-Man. You're not going to pick up that he's Superman when he picks the guy up, sits him on a stool, and spins him like 300 miles an hour on the stool. Okay, whatever. So you got to leave common sense and logic outside these movies. Otherwise, they're not going to make any sense. So he picks him up and he goes, I've been working out. And he shoves Superman down the bar and he lands inside of a pinball machine. And thus, then you get Superman flying with a flag. And I love that. I actually used to have a Superman shirt with that scene on it, with Superman with the flag. And I love that shirt. I wore that shirt out. It was a beautiful shirt. I wish I had it today. It would be hanging right here behind me, but I don't have it anymore. Anyway, so Superman has saved the day again, and he tells the president, I'll never let you down. I'm sorry I've been away so long. Because Lois is so beautiful, and I am just a man. And so anyway, Superman then flies into the score comes up, and I think it's one of the best Supermans. I mean, I love that Superman beat Zod with his brains, not with his brawn. And so that was just such a cool movie, and I loved it, and I watched it twice. I still watch it to this day, and I giggle and I laugh. The special effects are dated. They are. And parents are probably going to have to explain to their kids why Superman is sleeping with someone before they're married. Yeah, that's a tough one. But compared to movies today, the movie is G-rated. I mean, the sleeping together is only implied. It's like those soaps back from the 1970s where they walk into the bedroom and it's just implied. Not like today, most of the movies where, it's, none of that. And so Superman 2, that's why it's ranked one of the best. It's so much fun to watch that fight between the Superman and the people from Krypton. It's done slow enough that you can actually see what's going on, although it's obvious that they are being suspended by wires, and it's dated. But I'd say probably you want to watch it, if you want to see it the way it originally was, you'd see it on VHS. Even on DVD, you can see the wires, and which kind of takes away from it. I actually don't have this one on Blu-ray. I have Superman 1 on Blu-ray. But it's still just a great flick, and it's very enjoyable, and they haven't really updated this one to 7.1 Dolby Digital and all that like the other one. So if you really want a great time, you want a great family movie, Superman 2 is for a great time with the family. And I think there's some great things that can be taught there about responsibility and how you can't just make rash decisions without really thinking things through. So, from the Cave of the Music Man, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.